Antman, the tiniest superhero in the hood, a symbol that size doesn't matter, but sadly, he doesn't exist. But what if he did? Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions, the channel that likes to talk about a whole breadth of topics like science, politics, history, and pop culture, as well as playing with alternate realities. I'm your host, Rebecca Felgate, and today I'm asking, what if Antman was real? By the way, if you like this video, you will love our sister channel Top 10 Nerd. It's filled with comic book content, epic movie lists on films like the Avengers and Star Wars, as well as some magical lists about Harry Potter. It is one of my favorite YouTube channels, and if you haven't already, then do head on over to see what all the fuss is about. The link to Top 10 Nerd is in the description box down below. Also, why don't you leave me a comment and tell me who your favorite superhero is, and why don't you let me know when you've subscribed to Nerd. Okay, so Antman. What would happen if he was real? Well, we'd have a whole new appreciation for ants, for starters. Ants are already cool, but if they had their own poster boy, well, we could learn a lot from them and their abilities to work together and build empires. If Antman was real, that ant suit would be in demand, with a capital D. Scott Lang inherits the suit from Hank Pym, which basically means by donning a suit, we could all be tiny if we wanted to be. The suit would need to be under lock and key with constant security surveillance, because if people knew Antman was real, it would be the most expensive article of clothing in the world. Also, FYI, because of Pym particles, not only can people shrink really small, they can also grow really big. What are Pym particles? These are the particles that alter the size and mass of objects and living beings in the Antman verse. Would Henry give away his secret? If he did, wouldn't people be paying top bank for these laws of physics altering tech? Wouldn't it be chaos if these weren't used in an appropriate way? Perhaps people would use the ability to shrink really small or grow really big for malice. To be fair though, they'd likely just be used for pranks. Imagine what YouTube would look like and what damage Roman Atwood and Prank vs. Prank could do with these particles. Would Antman and Pym technology pave the way for a medical revolution? In the Antman verse, Scott Lang saved the Hulk from motor neuron disease by shrinking down to micro size, entering the Hulk's genes and replacing his corrupt genes with healthy ones and therefore curing him. Perhaps using Pym particles, we could cure a lot of diseases, including, say, cancer. That's right, if Antman was real, we could cure cancer. Why not? Spin-off question though. If Lang, aka Antman, can be manipulated with Pym particles, couldn't we do the same to tiny weeny robots? Couldn't we make those? Why would we need tiny microscopic human surgeons when we could make robot surgeons? Although in a world of superheroes and villains, maybe that could go horribly wrong. Anyway, what is almost as exciting as curing cancer? Being able to talk to other species, that's what. With Antman's cybernetic helmet, we could all talk to animals. If we could all have cybernetic helmets, I for one would use mine, combined with my shrinking, to get ant size and explain to bugs why they can't live in my house. I feel really guilty about squashing spiders and flies, but at the moment I don't have any choice because I can't communicate with them to tell them that they can't live in my house because they creep me out. Ooh, speaking of creeping out, what would you even do if you got stuck at tiny size and then had to live amongst ants and creepy crawlies forever? How scary would a giant snail be, for example? Or living in fear of being stepped on? Oof. Poor Antman, it really is a high-risk job. I hope he's getting fairly remunerated. A couple of little side notes before I end this video with a mind-twisting bang, but according to Antman lore, if he is real, then so are the Illuminati. Oh, conspiracy theorists would have an absolute field day. For those of you that know Antman, you'll also know that Scott Lang is a former prisoner turned hero, so I have to wonder, if he was real, would this change the way we treat former convicts, and would we have a universal healthy approach to the rehabilitation of offenders? Finally, back to the superhero and villain thing. If Antman was real, then would we be also saying hi to Batman, Spider-Man, Captain America, Wolverine, Wonder Woman and the Silk Spectre? What about Kick-Ass? And also, what about Lex Luthor, the Green Lantern and evil Catwoman? Do women need to be sexy to be either good or evil? Also, if Antman was real, would superheroes and villains be embroiled in a battle of good versus evil to which none of us mere mortals have any control? If so, I mean, that kind of sucks. Speaking of mortals, if Antman were real, does this mean the entire Avengers gang also exists? Because, hello, Thor's a god. So, if Antman is real and the Avengers are real, does this mean God is real? Because, oh my god, bombshell. Having some steadfast proof of the existence of a divine entity would really shake things up on Earth. I'm suitably mind-boggled. Suffice to say that if Ant-Man was real, it would basically change the world as we know it. Thanks guys for joining me in this video. If you liked it, why don't you leave a thumbs up and share it with a friend? And also, why don't you leave me a comment to let me know what you think would happen if Ant-Man was real? Also, don't forget to let me know who your favorite superhero is. Once again, don't forget to check out our sister channel, Top 10 Nerd. Some do consider it our more attractive sibling, but you know what? You can decide for yourself. For now, I'm your host, Rebecca Felgate. I'll catch you in the next video, but until then, stay curious, stay alert, and never ever stop questioning.